You're listening to Top 4, a new series presented by the Game Pitch Podcast.
Join hosts Brandon and Eli as they build gaming Mount Rushmores every week.
Enjoy topics that range from the best multiplayer types to the top bug Pokemon.
Catch fresh episodes of Top 4 every Wednesday on the Project Nerd Network.
And don't miss new episodes of the Game Pitch Podcast, dropping every Monday morning.
Let's get ready to rank. Hello and welcome to the Top 4 and More podcast, brought to you, presented by Game Pitch on the Project Nerd Network. My name's Eli. I'm with Brandon, one of my favorite people. Brandon, how are you?
Yo, what's cracking?
Oh, I didn't know that we were hitting it with the thuggery so soon.
It's been a long day. Sometimes you just gotta have fun with it.
Hey,
I'm
man.
I'm doing well. Let's talk about video games, Elijah.
Heck yes. So if you've never listened to Top 4 and More before, what we do is we give you our gaming Mount Rushmores of a specific topic. So Brandon picks a topic one week, I pick a topic another week. This week happens to be my pick, and I chose video game match types. So this is your game modes, your just different gameplay types.
Multiplayer specifically, though, yes.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Game types in multiplayer. You got it, Brandon. See, you're more on top of it than I am. So I guess I wanted to ask you first. So I know we're gonna, reveal our top 4 game types, but do you have some honorable mentions or?
Yeah, I absolutely have some honorable mentions. So I think at this point we would be a little remiss, a little behind the times if we did not at least mention Battle Royale. Now, Battle Royale made it onto my list because of my honorable mentions because I think it's a really cool concept. But that being said, there hasn't been a Battle Royale game that like really grabbed me. Like I played PUBG for a little bit with some friends and that was kind of cool, I guess, but man, that game was real broken. I could not for the life of me get into Fortnite. I just couldn't do it. And then I never even tried Apex Legends. But I like Battle Royale as a concept. So that made it onto honorable mentions for me.
Okay, so a lot of these game types will probably be from mainly competitive games like your Apexes or your Call of Duties or your Halos or just your multiplayer games just in general. But I think the reason that I picked this topic is that I've just been getting into multiplayer a little bit more than I had recently, and I think that that's a little bit because I've been really just loving Star Wars Battlefront so much, and then that made me want to go check in on Halo a little bit more. Then I kind of fumbled around to Destiny a bit, so I've just been kind of like craving, I guess, multiplayer more. And maybe that's because we're all so alone or in our houses now that I'm like trying to reach out to friends and be like, hey, what's something we can do? We can't go to the bar, we can't see a movie together, but maybe we can play Destiny 2 together or Halo or Battlefield or something like that.
I know what you mean. I'm kind of in the same boat, honestly. When I first moved out to Vegas and I was living by myself, video games was like the only thing I did with my free time. And that got kind of lonely until I started focusing more on multiplayer. So I see what you mean for sure. I think there is isolation has definitely added to my appreciation for the game type.
Did you have any other honorable mentions?
You darn tootin', I got some honorable
Oh,
mentions.
shoot 'em at me, buddy. Pew pew.
CTF, because I have not started really getting into Capture the Flag until recently. It's very fun. It's very differently paced. In my younger days, like most of my multiplayer was like just Team Slayer from Halo, like Team Deathmatch, whatever it is, like just rack up kills, right? That was most of what I played as a kid. But these days, I'm into more tactical, more strategic type game modes. So CTF made it on there. The command post style of multiplayer where there's like several points on the map and you have to capture and hold them, and whoever
Mhm.
holds who holds the most gets points. That made it onto my honorable mentions. And then finally, escort from Overwatch, because man, Overwatch just did something cool with multiplayer that I had never seen before, and one of those things where I think we'd be remiss to not talk about Overwatch and what it did for the medium of multiplayer gaming.
I like how they're both outside of your top 4, like your mention of Overwatch and of Fortnite as well, or PUBG or just battle royales in general. But it's just funny to me because, like, yes, they are so hot right now, but neither of us were like, "Yo, that's the one." Like, I'm not like, "Oh, League of Legends, Dota, yeah, man, Defense of the Ancients, that's the one." Like, that's not. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess I don't. And I'm not trying to be like a hipster here, but it's just like I don't like mainstream multiplayer like that. Like, I mean, I guess that the Dotas in your leagues kind of started more niche because it was just a mod on Warcraft 3. So, like, yeah, I get it. But then also, like, I'm just like, yeah, that's the one that's like, I'm not an esports like multiplayer person, I guess.
Right, sure. I see what you're saying. Well, what about you? You got some honorable mentions for us?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through them like really quickly because you know how much I love Halo, and a lot of them are Halo, and these modes appear outside of Halo. Actually, I'm first gonna start with two Counter Strike ones. Gun Game and Surf are really cool. The way that Gun Game lets you level up as you get kills, and then you get like a worse gun as you get killed. Like it's Gun Game's really interesting. If you've never tried it, play Counter Strike, play Gun Game. It's like the holy grail of Counter Strike type stuff. But then I also wanted to mention like Paintball from Perfect Dark and like GoldenEye. Really, any of like the cheat mode, like big head mode, or like like because like that's really gone away, and
Sure.
like that used to be like a huge thing where just like, oh hey, everyone's heads are really tiny and it's hard to get headshots now, or like you'd put in a cheat code and it just really changed the multiplayer. So those from the 64 days, I really miss those. But then like I said, I'll just run through these Halo ones really quick. Zeus is great, which is the one where you're like in the sky with the sniper rifle and everyone's on the ground trying to do territories, and you're just like shooting them with Spartan lasers and sniper rifles, and you're like millions of miles in the air. That one's great. I really love Invasion, like you kind of talked about, capturing points. Troy is one of my favorite game types that doesn't really exist, but you start off on Blood Gulch and you have um, brute shots, and you can't move till you empty your clip, so you just shoot the brute shots across each other like it's catapults, and then you have to rush each other like you're Spartans, and you have to like assault each other, which is great. SWAT wasn't introduced in Halo, but it's basically you have no shields and you take it's easier to kill you. So SWAT's a mode that I really like just across games when you're like whatever superpowers you have, like in Crisis or in some other fantastical like shooter game. It's just like, oh, your shields are gone. So like now you gotta adjust how you play. I think that's really cool. And then last one's just zombie. The old school zombie from Halo 2 before like it automatically switched your team, and like it was on the honor system, and if you got killed you had to like trust that the other person would change team mid match. It was it was just really the wild west and very fun.
Definitely. I got down on a lot of those. Zombie was one of my personal favorites from Halo. I definitely played a lot of SWAT in Reach, I think, and then Gun Game is sick. I wasn't introduced to it in Counter Strike, but the idea of Gun Game is definitely super cool. So I like that. That's those are some good honorable mentions there, Elijah.
Yeah, I don't even think that I knew another game had gun game in it, and it makes sense that another one would. But yeah, I was just always like, when I think of gun game, I'm like, oh, that's Counter Strike, and it probably didn't even start there. It probably started in like Quake or in like some I don't know some other game that I'm not thinking of right now that's not coming to mind, or like Doom, like modded multiplayer or something. That's probably where gun game came from actually. But Brandon, tell me your number four, please.
Ooh, Elijah, I'm a little nervous about this. I think I'm gonna break your heart just a little bit because it's so low on the list. I do worry about this one being on your list, but my number four is 8-player Smash.
Wow, I will tell you, it's not on my list at all.
Okay, cool.
But that is a great pick, my dude. I didn't even think of that. Like, what a good pick.
Yeah, I don't know. Just uh again, like I didn't play a ton of multiplayer in my younger days, but most of what I did was like couch co-op party style games. I mean, we've played countless hours of Smash together, like countless hours. Some of my fondest memories are coming over to your place and just getting my shit absolutely wrecked by your roommates.
No, but you're right, man. Like, 8-player Smash is legendary. Like, that's one of those things where, like, I couldn't have conceived of how cool it was before it was introduced. Like, them having more fighters in Smash Bros. Than four, or, like a four-person free-for-all, like, that concept never entered my mind. And then when it happens, you're just like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up things like paintball mode from Perfect Dark and GoldenEye and Big Head mode and stuff like that. Because one of the things that I love so much about 8-player Smash is how customizable it is. You can do
Mm.
some real goofy stuff in there. I just think that that adds a lot of variety to it. I've never played two 8-player Smash games that have felt the same. I'm sure that that's never going to happen.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like so chaotic to start because like you're fighting in different parts of the map, and then like it really doesn't start to get intense until it's like down to like the last three people. And the stock disparity on those ones, because like everyone, like if you're not playing like stock matches, and I think the thing that we both kind of really like is that Smash is so diverse in that way that we're not the people that are like, yo man, three stocks, no items, final destination, let's go, bro. Like we're just like let's throw in all the items, let's up the percentage of Pokeballs and assist trophies. Like let's make this as bonkers as we can because we just want to see cool shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, one of the other things that I think is really cool about it is even if you do get eliminated from it, it's still fun to watch.
Yes, exactly. A million percent, dude. Yeah, you're so right. Like Like, yeah, 8-player Smash is always so fun to watch, especially because it's so weird that after you have the 8 people and it has like narrowed down to even just 4, the map feels so big for even those 4 that that's actually really interesting. Like you said, it's fun to watch.
For sure, for sure. Elijah, let's hear your number 4.
So this is really funny that we put this on this list because I put my number 4 on the list before, and I had picked our topic this week before the Sony conference, before I saw that. And when I saw the Sony conference, there's actually a game that is like this game type that I had never seen anywhere else, and I just thought was made up in Halo. But it's my number 4 is called Cat and Mouse, and if you've never played it, it's also on Blood Gulch. But what happens is there's one team of 2 people that are both in wraiths, and they can't shoot their wraith, but they can boost. Like they can't shoot their cannon. And then there are 4 other people in ghosts, so they're the mice, and then the wraiths are the cats. So what happens is, this is what happens. So for the first minute, the wraiths can't do anything, but like the cats can't do anything but get in their wraiths and chill. In the first minute, all the mice get inside the ghosts, and then for like the next, I think it's like, I'm trying to remember how many minutes it was. I think it's a 10-minute match, and then for like the next. Up to there's 2 minutes remaining, the 2 wraiths are trying to like corner the ghosts and like smash them, and the ghosts don't respawn. So then it's just like you're just people running around and you like getting wrecked and stuff. And then the thing that happens is in the last, I think it depended on who you're playing with or what the rules were. Either in the last 2 minutes or the last minute, the wraiths could use their cannons, and the goal was to destroy to destroy every one of the ghosts, and those are all the mice. But then so like you'd have like all these people that didn't have ghosts anymore, like trying to pile their bodies in front of the wraith to cushion the ghost from getting smushed when it was getting ran over. So it was like the most insane game type. And the reason I brought up the Sony conference is that there was that game they showed that was like the vehicle game where like when their car gets destroyed, they were like running around as people. And that's the only time that I had ever seen something like that. And I was like, oh, these guys probably played Cat and Mouse on Halo like 10 years ago.
Let's make a full game about this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, this is Cat and Mouse. Like, I was hype.
No, I never played that mode, but that one sounds like a lot of fun. There's
It was silly, dude. It was great shit.
that power dynamic's got to be pretty interesting to be part of for sure.
Oh yeah, because like on Blood Gulch, you were like try to use the hills and like have the wraith like boost over you so you could like sneak under him as the ghost. It was, and you couldn't shoot, so it was like, yeah, it was just really fun. What's your number 3, buddy?
Grand Prix from Mario Kart.
Okay.
Back to back with the Nintendo multiplayer. Some of my favorite multiplayer experiences is the couch co-op stuff. I don't know. I there are very few mediums, very few activities, hobbies, whatever you want to call it, that I think can bring people together, like some good old fashioned couch co-op or couch competitive play in video games, and I don't know a single person who, one, doesn't like Mario Kart, and 2, doesn't claim that they're like really good at Mario Kart, even though they're not.
Yeah, no, most people are bad at Mario Kart. Or no, Brandon, they'll either say they're good at Mario Kart or they're only good at Mario Kart when they're drunk. Like that's what they'll say.
Yep. I've never not heard somebody say I'm good at Mario Kart, and I'm always better than them.
Well, Brandon, live here on the air, I will admit I am terrible at Mario Kart. I've always been bad at Mario Kart. I am last place. I love the game. It's very fun. I enjoy playing it, but also I suck very bad.
That's fair. I think skill plays a certain level into like deciding how much I enjoy a game, I guess. And so that's one of the reasons that I think I ranked Mario Kart higher than Smash Bros. Because on one hand, I could see like, I don't know, Smash being more fun, but man, I'm just better at Mario Kart and I like winning. So that's why it ranked above Smash.
Hey, I can't blame you. Mario Kart's very good.
Very nice. Elijah, let's talk about your number 3.
So I picked something off the board that I don't think you would have thought that I picked, but I am a huge Battlefield fan. And Rush Mode, I think, is one of the best things that I've ever, like, back in, I want to say, like, right when I was, like, out of high school, starting to first play PC games for real, like, at gaming centers and stuff like that. Rush mode on Battlefield just felt good. I love the way that it's like, hey, capture point A or B, and like you reveal more of the map and you peel more of the map open. And I do think that what Battlefield has done for gaming has really inspired a lot of other games that I love. And of course, Battlefield begets Battlefront, which is a Star Wars game that we both really like. And the one specifically I want to talk about, because all of the Battlefield games have had some version of rush mode, a little bit of tweaks here, there, vehicles, stuff like that. But in Battlefield 2142, there was a mode called Titan. And Titan was the coolest effing thing in the world because there was like these. Have you ever heard of it before, Brandon? Do you know what Titan mode is?
I have not. Please explain.
So each team has a floating like ship, and it has these shields on it. And what the goal is you get vehicles and other things, and you try to penetrate the opposing team's shield. And when you penetrate it, then you can get on like these man cannons. And this is like before like Halo man cannons. They were like these like things that you would strap yourself into, and they just like launch you at the ship. You can get on the ship and like hack in and like try to disable the shields, and then everyone on the ground in like vehicles, and they would be like in Titanfall mechs and like different crazy Metal Gear things, and everyone would just like shoot at the ship, and you were like trying to get inside and hack and like do different things and missile arrays, and it was all this like super futuristic cool stuff. And this was like forever ago. This is like, I think this game's like 12 years old maybe. This is like at least probably 2010 or 2008. But like Titan mode on Battlefield 2142 was like so futuristic, and it was like all the fun stuff in the world that I would imagine Metal Gear would have, but just that you could mess around with every tool, whether it was floating tanks or like, yeah, it was just really futuristic and really Star Wars, but in a modern, like they're humans and people. So it was like really cool to see that.
That sounds like a blast, dude. That's yeah, I guess I'm not super familiar with Battlefield or where it lies in video game history, but I imagine it kind of introduced that concept of like, sort of like phased multiplayer matches. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I've been playing a crap ton of Battlefront lately, and yeah, you would capture one point, and then once that's done, you maybe have to go destroy the objective, but it's further down on the map. And yeah, I think that that's just brilliant game design.
Yeah, it was always the game that was pushing the number of people you could have in a battle, and then the way they were utilized, whether you were getting in vehicles. And it was, yeah, it was one of the first games that I feel like was really like, hey, we want to make this map as big as possible. We want to put as much
Hmm.
vehicles in it and mix up the type of encounters you can have. Because, like you talked about Smash, like not being the same ever. Like, dude, like I can't tell you how many times my entire goal in Battlefield was like to rush someone on a horse, like, and be like, yeah, and then like yell like, come on, Charlemagne, yeah, and my team would be like, what the f are you doing? And like I would hop off the horse and like try and like get one of the terminals and like plant the bomb to blow up the thing to get to the next area. But it was never the same ever. And like my mission to start out was like, I'm gonna ride this horse at the point and see what happens. But it's always like turned out differently for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I never really got into Battlefield because I was super excited for Battlefield 4. And when it came out on the Xbox One, because it was like that weird like cross-gen launch, it was it almost broke my Xbox. That's how bad it was. Like whenever
Well,
that game was in my Xbox, it would freeze up. I couldn't select any like applications or anything. Like it almost broke my Xbox. So I swore off Battlefield.
gotcha. I will leave Battlefield's busted ass in the rear view mirror then, and let's move on to your number two, pal.
Big team battle from Halo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good mode, my friend.
Yeah, it is. That was always my favorite game mode to play in Halo. Just because I wasn't great at Halo. I'll say I was decent, but like never great. And I don't know. Big team battle. There was so much going on, so much you could do. It made what I was doing like as part of like the team feel more important, just because there was so much to do. You were talking about how Battlefield like always pushed like the number of players, and I always really liked that idea for sure. When Battlefield 4 was announced, and they were like, yeah, 32 versus 32 on console. That, I mean, that blew my mind. That's why I bought the game. So that concept applied to, of course, one of our favorite franchises, Halo. Is just a good it's a good recipe right there. Those are gonna be some good cookies.
Those are delicious cookies. And I actually think, just because I know you love snow levels in general, almost all the snow maps are big team battle maps. Like they're all big, like in each Halo.
Yes, they are, Elijah. Yes, they are.
So
It's my
so
favorites.
yeah, you're right. Because man, there's just so many like having the Scorpion tank on Blood Gulch is cool, but having the Scorpion tank on one of the really really big levels is even better. So
Oh,
yeah, like
absolutely.
all the way. Like yeah, you see it coming around the bend on Sidewinder, and you're just like, oh no, like oh there it is. There's that big boy.
Yep. Yep. Let's talk about your number two, Elijah.
My number two is battle mode from Mario Kart, the balloon battle. So when you said Mario
Wow.
Kart, yeah, because it's okay. So why are you shocked?
I don't know. I just thought I didn't expect Mario Kart to show up on your list, I guess, you know?
Gotcha. So as bad as I am at Mario Kart, I truly love that balloon battle mode. I think one of my greatest joys in life is getting like saving up the mushrooms and then speeding into people and stealing their balloons and trying to have a rainbow of balloons, like additional balloons. Do you remember how you could straight jack people?
Yep. Yep.
It's the best thing. It's just so like going back to talking more about freaking Smash Bros. Like I get so much satisfaction, but when I Kirby side someone, but I don't die from it, but like I should, and I get
Right.
even more satisfaction from stealing someone's balloon. And I get the most satisfaction when I have multiple stolen balloons, and everyone's just like, "Oh my god, why is this guy like a rainbow?" Or like I have like a Yoshi balloon, and then like because that's green, and the Toad balloon, and that's white, and then I have the Mario balloon, and that's red, and I'm making the Italian flag with my balloons. It's dude, Mario Kart Battle Mode, Block Fortress, like just it's so good every time.
Block
Like,
Fortress is where it's at. But I
but
yep, that when you said battle mode from Mario Kart, I was like, yo, Block Fortress, man. Block Fortress.
just all day, baby. Yeah, so good. Yeah, but I I yield my time. I could talk about freaking Mario Kart's Battle Mode forever, man.
That's fair. Let's do this, Elijah. Let's do number one.
All right, you first, my friend.
Gotta be Hero Showdown from Battlefront 2. Gotta be Hero Showdown.
What? Oh my gosh, for real?
For real, dude. For real. Man, I was not good at Battlefront when I first started. In fact, when I first started, my friends and I, we would Nick and Dallas are their names. We would play heroes versus villains, which was the 4v4. For those who don't know, Hero Showdown is the 2v2. But we would play heroes versus villains 4v4 because there's three of us, obviously. And we would do just the dirtiest strategies to win. we, I would be Captain Phasma. Nick would typically be like Iden Versio or Boba Fett, and then Dallas was always Bosk. And we would find like a room or a hallway, and we would load it hallway up with bombs and Captain Phasma's droid, which can stun people, and we would just light people up in that one little room or one little hallway. It was incredibly toxic. It was the worst thing ever. But that's how I started getting good at the game.
I didn't know. One, when you started talking, I was like, and you kept talking, I was like, none of you are picking Jedi. What's going on? Where is this going? And then the payoff that you were like Star Wars campers, which is like probably the worst thing on the planet, is amazing. Like, thank you, thank you.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Sorry, everybody on the servers. um, yeah. But they were always like protecting me, and now my friend Nick, he's got like 600 hours in Battlefront 2 multiplayer. It's insane.
Wow.
He's a monster at that game. It doesn't matter what game mode it is. He's always number one on the leaderboard, like doubling or tripling the next person below him's score. It's ridiculous. Anyways, we started playing Hero Showdown together, and oh man, my journey from like being kind of okay because of my Phasma bullshit to being a god was quite special.
So this is like the I'm trying to think of like a Jedi comparison of like one of the Jedi just being like, oh, he's fine, and then just being like, oh my gosh, like this guy just went like Super Saiyan.
No, it's I don't know what that would be. I guess it's a fun time, Elijah. Again, I mentioned earlier like how good I am kind of dictates how much I enjoy something to a certain extent.
Mm.
And being really good at it now, it makes me feel great. Battlefront 2 like lit a fire inside me that I thought like just didn't really exist or whatever, for just like competition and wanting to be better than other people. And I don't know, man, I love it. It really like spiked up like this competitive side to me, and it's been a lot of fun.
Brandon, I'm gonna need you to bring that same energy when we're squatted up in Star Wars Squadrons because my guy, I want to be a professional gamer at just this stupid game. It's all I want in life.
We'll have to get down on some Starfighter Assault to get prepared, but that new Star
Oh,
Wars game looks sick.
I can't wait. Okay, I guess it's time for my numero uno.
Let's hear it.
It's capture the flag.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Sorry. We can get into this, but I just want to say I specifically didn't put Griffball on my honorable mentions because I thought Griffball was going to be number one for you.
I do love Griffball. Griffball's quite quite fantastic, and I did some bullshit at it and got really good. But it's capture the flag, man. Like I when I think of multiplayer, I have never had more fun than swinging around a base with a warthog, everybody popping out, going in there, systematically taking down, six members of their team with just three of you, coming back out. Your passengers got the flag in hand, and they're just like meleeing and punching just for no reason, just to look cool. And your gunner's like spraying off and holding off some ghost that's coming after you, just like drifting around like all the cuts of Blood Gulch or Valhalla or like whatever you're doing, jumping through that man cannon with the flag, or even just like inching it, like by like picking it up and throwing it and picking it up and throwing it, just to, yeah, I don't know, man, like just something about capture the flag, specifically in Halo, but in plenty of other games, like the what's it called, in Time Splitters there was like a capture the bag thing where like it was a suitcase. But a lot of these games have these modes, and just I love CTF, man. Like you talked about the tactics of it, there's so many things you can do with CTF, and I don't know if there's like a more satisfying feeling than like you grabbing the flag, you crouch, and then like the enemy team's like trying to come into the base to find where you are, and you just one shot melee like multiple of them, and then you get in a man cannon, you blast yourself out, and you're just like, yeah, I effing did. Like I've never felt more accomplished than in CTF and some of the weird shit that I did.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Again, just like being good at something, I totally get like that adding enjoyment. I I think it's interesting how, I mean, in your experience, would you say that capture the flag has like, because I haven't played a ton, but do people on those servers like are they strictly, you know, uh, objective oriented?
I'd actually say I probably had so much success in Capture the Flag because there's usually not as many competitive people in there. So, like, all the people that were maybe
Wow.
at my level of kills for like Team Deathmatch and stuff like that, you didn't typically find them in any of the community playlists. So, whether that was Assault or Action Sack or any of that stuff, playing some of the weird game types, because they were mainly just playing Team Deathmatch and SWAT and the stuff that would get their precision or their, inputs per second up. So I think that maybe is a reason why I always liked Capture the Flag, because just naturally I was dominating and, like you said, winning a lot. But I just like there was, I've never like had friends screaming at each other more, but like in a playful, fun way, than with Capture the Flag. It's like, oh god, he's over there! Like he got the, like you could like see the like flag going over the hill, and everyone like, when someone gets that sniper shot in right as they're like about to get in the hog, and then like the other team has to scramble to do something, and then you can catch up and plasma them or something like that. Or I even have one of our mutual friends. We were in a warthog, and they like, because when you press switch weapon, that's how you drop the flag. They accidentally did that while they were like pressing melee to like do the flag, and then they dropped it mid level when we were good to go, and like everyone was like yelling at that person. And it's like one of those things where I just like, I'm always gonna remember that, and it's just hilarious, man. Like I love capture the flag more than anything, actually, in like multiplayer.
Sounds like you've had a lot of fun with that game mode. I do want to touch on something that you mentioned at the start of that, um, because it sounds to me like you were saying you like playing capture the flag because you like dunking on fourth graders, man.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I get that.
Why not? They stepped into the arena online. That's their bad.
It
They picked the
was
game mode.
it was their bad.
You got to learn harsh lessons in life, and I will serve them up to you and capture the flag.
On the streets, and by streets we mean servers.
I know. I mean, some of the Halo levels have streets like turf, and we can battle in turf. The one that has like the Rooster Teeth vending machines or whatever. Let's do it there.
I don't know that one.
It's pretty cool. It's just like, yeah, just like the streets of New Mombasa. It's a fun map.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the Top 4 and More podcast. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us on multiple platforms like Spotify and I mean like Apple, the Apple Podcast app, the Google Play Store, all those places. It's available. You can find it there. You can find me and Brandon. We're online and we're fine. I'm at Mario Arpegino, and Brandon is at Mr. Snow 97. Thank you so much for listening. And go to projectnerd.com because they keep the lights on here. And as always, we're presented by Game Pitch. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Brandon, you have any words for the people?
Thank you for listening, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.